4, 5, okay, hello. So I'm gonna keep going. I feel like my computer is gonna fill up pretty soon, and then I gotta fucking move everything around. But I'm gonna keep going as long as I can tonight. So, anyways, let me think. I watched this like a week ago, maybe a week and a half, something like that. Anyway, so I'm gonna be forgetting, have huge holes, have to go back, and all that shit. But anyways, okay, so Thomas' mom comes in the room while he's fucking all these bitches, and she goes, "I'm sick of you just being a fucking like laying around here, not doing shit." And she's like, "I'm sending you off to live with your dad," which honestly, she should have sent him off like a long ass time ago. He should have gone with his dad when he was like 14. Isn't that what they used to do back in the day? But no, his lazy ass, and you can tell he's like the baby of the family because he had his older sister who they said was 12 years older than him, and she was pissed because she's like, my lazy ass baby brother always gets all the attention, is gonna inherit all the power, and just because I'm a woman, people don't think I should be queen. But obviously I'm much more equipped. I always do all the chores, I do all the heavy lifting, I fucking do everything. Nobody respects me. They always give all the respect to his lazy ass while I'm busting my bitch ass over here. And fucking nobody gives a fuck. But no, they want to fawn over my stupid brother's dick. So she's pissed. So anyways, so he gets sent off to live with his dad in like the forests of fucking Germany or something like that. I don't know. We were on some kind of military campaign. And then he tries to carry on his bullshit while all the soldiers are just going, I don't know, walking around doing their thing, cooking food or whatever. And then he's like in a tent with a whore, I guess. I don't know where she came from, but somewhere, whatever. She just fucking came along. And they're like in the tent making out and shit like that. And he's in his like literal loincloth, whatever you call that thing. And you know what? I see people in these historical shows like wearing this. And I'm really always trying to figure out like how you tie it on. Because I see the tie like in the front. It's kind of like folded over, like looped over itself and hangs down. And okay, I know this is Hollywood, Netflix, whatever. And I know they probably have some secret way of doing it, like double stick tape. That's what my mom always says. My mom always, anytime there's any question about how, like, some type of clothing stays on or does whatever that seems, like, kind of gravitationally, like, unlikely, my mom always says, like, it's double stick tape. That's what, like, her answer for everything in Hollywood. But, I don't know. I kind of feel like there is a way to tie it on. I haven't figured it out. Like, I look and I'm just like, how is this folded? Like, I kind of had an idea, like, maybe it's kind of shaped like a giant diaper slash scarf, like a scarf shaped diaper. Or like a diaper shaped scarf. And you kind of just, like, spread it out in the back and, like, wrap it around. I don't know. Whatever. Um, Anyways, whatever. So his fucking dad comes in there and he's all mad, and then he like grabs Commodus out of the bed by like one arm and one leg, like on the same side. He like throws him out of the bed, and then he fucking marches his son in his underwear, like past through the whole camp in front of everybody. And his son's just literally naked. I mean, not naked, but like, and you know what the funny thing is? I'll say this more when I get to the Caligula one, but the nudity is like, it's really funny. It's just like, I mean, I've heard before about like the rating system, how they rate like male versus female nudity, and how there's like, you can be on a certain step, and I don't know, it's just really funny because the step that they're at, like they want to show the most nudity and they want to show like they want to make it as like sexy as they can, quote unquote, but they obviously can't go beyond a certain point. I don't know, it's just really funny. But like anyways, so his dad marches his slutty son out in front of the entire army, and then he tells him like, you got to you have to fight, or you have to learn to fight because you have been soft your whole fucking life. And you have to learn to fight. So he gives him, like, a wooden sword, I think, and then he tells him, like, fight some random soldier in his underwear with no shoes on. That's a bigger problem. I mean, and aren't they fucking freezing? Isn't this Germany, the forests of Germany or something? Like, isn't it fucking cold? That's another thing I was talking about with my mom, because it's like they say that Italy and the Bay Area have like a similar climate, and it's funny because like in these shows they always show like the Romans and everybody, like Romans and Greeks, and like, you know, little tiny little tunics and like their legs all showing, and like, you know, everyone has like no sleeves and everything, and everybody's cool, and some people, even like the elderly people, they just literally have just like kind of like a half like thing, half the chest out and everything like that, and it just makes it look so warm and friendly all the time. But I'm like, San Francisco is cold. San Francisco is fucking cold. Santa Cruz is cold. Like, it's nice for San Francisco is nice in May, and Sacramento is nice in September. I mean, Sacramento. What I said? Santa Cruz. Sacramento is hot all fucking year. Sacramento is inland, but the Bay, and that's not the Bay Area. But San Francisco is pretty much only, I mean, now global warming, you know, everything's getting a little warmer, but traditionally, San Francisco is only warm in the second half of April, so we're getting there now, and May, and then August, I guess, maybe, and some of September, and same thing in Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz is like hot during the day in the summer months. Oh my god! But I worked in Santa Cruz over the summer. I had to get up at 6 in the morning, and it was like 30 degrees. It was fucking frigid. I have never been so cold in my goddamn life. Like, I just, ugh. I know people in the Midwest will just be laughing at me like, ha ha, experience snow, motherfucker. But look, bitch, it was cold. And it's cold when you have no insulation in the houses and stuff like that. You don't have a heater because everybody thinks you don't need it. Anyways, whatever. Point is, this bitch was going around, and I think the no shoes are more of a problem, because I'm like, it's one thing. It's one thing to not have a shirt. It's one thing to not have pants. Okay, fine. You're standing up, but you're standing on your feet. Don't you need sandals or something to stand on? I mean, like, I love the outdoors. I love forest. But you go out there barefoot, you know, it's not good. Anyways, whatever. So, whatchamacallit? Look at the tail. I can make the tail go straight up. Ah! Anyway, where was I? It's gonna take me 10 episodes to talk about this show. Right. So his dad tells him he has to learn to fight, so he's not like a fucking like bitch anymore. And he fights for like 2 seconds, and then he like throws the sword down. And I thought Marcus Aurelius was gonna have at him. I thought he was gonna be like, you know what? My son is a motherfucking brat. Tie his ass to the post and whip him. You know, that's what I thought was coming, but that's not what happened. But he like took him on. He got some clothes on this bitch, as they say in Metalocalypse. Let's put some clothes on these sluts. Take them outside or something like that. Whatever was the line. And he marches him through the battlefield where all these dead people are, and he's just like, "You want to end up like that? You want to end up dead like that? Then you better learn to fight." So he starts learning how to fight. I think I kind of forgetting what happens. Meanwhile, his sister is scheming and shit like that, and she's like, you know, she's getting fed up, and then I forget Marcus Aurelius. Oh, there was this whole like bullshit of like Marcus Aurelius. They said he had some like disease. They were like, oh, he might have had cancer or something, but he lived for a long ass time. If he did have cancer, he lived for a long ass time with it, because like he was like sick in bed. I thought he was dying, and then no, he lived for like years and years and years more. So, you know, and he was already old. So, anyways, whatchamacallit? Yeah, apparently he was like sick in bed one time, and then they were like, we gotta send a message back home to say that he's sick or something. So these guys went back to Rome, but you know, they're so far away. Apparently, along the way, I guess they passed the message to like a literal telephone game. That's what I was getting from it. They went past all these outposts. I think this is what I'm getting. I'm getting the idea that it wasn't the same soldiers going the whole way. it kind of passed off the message like a relay, to all these different people. And basically, essentially, by the time they got back to Rome, they were like, Marcus Aurelius is dead. And then his mom started, or not his mom, his wife, Commodus's mom, started freaking out. And she was like, oh my god, whoever is emperor next is gonna come in and clean house. And I didn't know this. I heard this from a podcast later after the show, but I guess most or all of the other emperors, they didn't pass it on to their sons. They or if they even had sons, they passed it on to just whoever they thought was gonna be good, or whoever stabbed them took the the role or whatever. But anyways, so he was so she's freaking out. She's like, oh my god, somebody's gonna come in here and gonna kill us all, basically. Because you know how lions, apparently when the new male lion comes in, they kill the cubs, so they're no seed but mine, or whatever the fuck. Then it's kind of the same shit. The new emperor will be I don't want even a trace of the old emperor's blood, because that's bad luck to me. So just fucking kill them all. They're gonna slaughter the whole fucking family like some kind of mafia shit. So she was I gotta do something about this, And then she went all the way to somewhere. I want to say she went to Egypt, but I don't think that's true. Maybe she went to some island or something like that. I forgot. And basically, she went to this guy who was I guess rivals with Marcus Aurelius, I think. Something like that. I can't remember. Or something like that. I can't remember. But he was ruler of this other place. One of the, extensions of Rome or something. And then, I'm probably getting this so fucking wrong. But you know what? Bite my ass. Whatever. Where am I? So, yeah, she goes to him, and she's all hey, what's up? Oh, okay, literally, this is how you want to know how the show is? Okay, if all the other stuff I've been saying isn't enough of an indication for you, okay? She walks in here, right? This is the mom, by the way. She walks in here, dude's sitting on his, throne or whatever, I think that's what it was, and he's hey, how's it going? It's been a long time since I saw you. She didn't even say hello. She walks in, she has, her hood up like this, She has her hood, and she's just she didn't even say hello. She just walks in, she's and there's no shirt underneath. There's nothing. She has a robe. She drops it to the floor. She's butt fucking ass naked in there. She's just she didn't even say hello. She doesn't say anything. She just drops all her clothes to the floor. She's naked, butt ass naked, and she's just gets on the dude's lap or whatever. And then that's, then next thing she's, I guess after they had sex or whatever. And he doesn't think this shit is weird. I guess maybe they said they had a previous relationship or something. I can't remember. But anyways, so, what was I saying? Right, so she's rubbing on his chest and everything like that. She's my husband's dead, come back and, marry me, and be, Emperor of Rome, and, you can get this pussy all the time, whatever she said, And then, he's okay, that sounds great. So they go back to Rome, and apparently along the way back to Rome, he was just sacking every city and just being I can get this, I can get that, da-da-da-da-da, because all these people are basically fucking assholes. These people are, the worst motherfuckers. It's fun to learn about them, but at the same time, it's just you wouldn't want to meet them. You wouldn't want to know them. You wouldn't want them coming to your city. I don't want them coming to San Francisco and fucking killing everybody. I don't want to get sold into slavery. Fuck that. I don't want them to skin my cats in front of me and sell me, work me to death in 2 years. I don't want that bullshit. Some fucking Roman asshole whipping me, my family. This is crap, No, we don't want these Romans around. But anyway, they are entertaining when you put them on TV. Anyways, so, whatever. He goes around destroying and pillaging all this crap just to say, I'm the shit. He gets back to the city, and Marcus Aurelius is standing there, hella mad, what is this? And then they walk in, and then he's you got some explaining to do, fucking, and his wife is just And then she's they're in some camp. I guess they're back in the war camp or whatever. She comes over and they got this blue filter to tell you everything's not right. And then she goes and sees Commodus because once again he's like the fucking favorite, the fucking baby that everybody fucking like treats all special and everything. And then she goes and visits him, and then I guess like a big ass like rivalry broke out because it's like, okay, this dude, he's not just gonna be like, oh, actually you're not really dead. Okay, never mind. I'll go back to my old job. Like, can't really do that. So he's like, he already went too far, like a Roman does. And so whatever, he has to kind of like take power, I guess. Otherwise, his assholism is gonna be overtaken, And Marcus Aurelius is, obviously not gonna just concede to him. So whatever. So the mom goes to see Commodus at the war camp, I guess. She's like, oh man, I really fucked up. They said your dad was dead, and like, I tried to get a new dad, I was just trying to help the family, I just didn't want us to be killed, that's all I was trying to do. He's like, just tell dad that, he'll understand. She's like, you don't even know you're dead. And she just walks away, she's just like, yeah, you don't even know, son, you don't even know the shit I've seen with these eyes, And he's just like, he'll understand. She's just like, and she goes into the dad's tent, and she's just like, he's just like, did you fucking cheat on me? And she's just like, no, 1,000 times no, I would always be loyal to you. She's like, everyone's just lying, And then she's just like, oh, my last wish is for you to take care of Commodus. He's like, what do you mean last wish? She's like, oh, did I say last wish? Just take care of Commodus, because he's a good boy and he's my favorite. Then she goes into the other room and, like, fucking kills herself, I guess. My mom has said that's what happened. I kind of didn't catch on right away. I thought she was poisoned, but I guess she poisoned herself. And then the other guy who was trying to usurp power from Marcus Aurelius gets stabbed. I think that's what happened. So, anyways, then I can't even remember from this point on, but basically Marcus Aurelius, he, like, eventually dies, and then, the sister, whose name I can't fucking remember, I'm falling asleep, like, where I sit, she's pissed, she's like, I want to be queen, I am just in this fucking, like, stupid-ass position. She winds up getting married to somebody who she doesn't even like. I kind of forgot who it was. But then Commodus, he has this fucking, like, two friends. And I guess they're, like, their parents were slaves or something like that. I don't know. Basically, they're, like, considered to be, like, lower class or whatever. And then some shit is happening with the Senate. I can't even remember. Basically, Commodus, he appoints, his friend. Oh, I remember, because he was trying to have a son with his wife. He got married to this girl, and who I barely remember. And then he got married to her, and then basically they didn't have any kids together. And he was blaming her for it, like all these fucking men do in like the olden days. They're always like, must be a woman's fault that we're not having kids. When first I remember in high school, one of the teachers, either the science or the English teacher, it was something having to do with Shakespeare, they broke it down in a scientific way to explain why it's usually because of the man. If you can't have kids, it's usually because of the man. I mean, it can be because of the woman, but it's usually because of the man for some reason. I can't remember why. It's something. But anyways, yeah, because they were talking about it in the context of that king. Who was that king with the 6 wives, what was it? Divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived. I think that's how it goes. Anyways, where am I now? He marries this girl, then he gets pissed because she won't give him a son or any kids. And then he's like, well, I want to have children. I don't care with who. And then there's some slave girl named, like, Mari or something like that. Or Marcy is her name. No, Marcia. Marsha. It's the same as that girl from the zombie story, Zombie Fest. The blonde fat girl. Except this one, she's a skinny black haired girl. But her name is Marsha, and yeah, she becomes his new wife. And all they want to do is fuck all the time, apparently. They're just like sleazy, and all they want to do is stay in bed forever and ever, which sounds fucking depressing. I remember one time one of my friends, one of my coworkers, was like really into some new girlfriend he had. He's like, yeah, we spent a week in bed. And I'm just like, God, that sounds really depressing. Because when I was super depressed, I used to be in bed all the time, and it was bad. But he meant it in the sense of like they're just having sex all day, I guess, and they just order in all their food. But I'm just like, nah, man, like I could not. I need to go outside and stretch around and stuff. But anyway, I'm already at 20 minutes. I'll talk about the other 2 episodes later, I guess. I'm so tired suddenly. But okay, let me wrap this up. So basically, I can say it real quick. Basically, yeah, Commodus, apparently, because he just wants to fuck all the time, he appoints his 2 friends, and then he has all these, like, he appoints his 2 friends to the Senate or something, or some positions of power, and the Senate is pissed because he's like, ew, these low-ranking people. And then, he says, like, I want to put on all these games, all this fucking fighting to the death, and, like, wild animals, and all this death, for people to look at and be entertained, and shit like that, because you know how they used to do back then. So he does that, and then everybody's, like, happy, and he's, like, obsessed with, like, people liking him. He's just like, I have to be liked, and everything. And each one of these 3, like, characters in each one of the seasons, they each have a thing that's kind of, like I've said before, like, obviously the writers of this show, the script writer or whatever, like, they kind of are pushing their own agenda with these people. But if you just put all that to the side, if you don't give a fuck about what they're trying to push, and they just go off the acting alone and the story alone without any, like, meaning behind it, like, they do a good job of, like, fictionally, I'm pretty sure, adding in, like, relatable, or maybe not relatable, but just, like, I don't know, just qualities that, like, these problems that each one of these guys have that kind of, like, is like, okay, I can see that, and stuff. So basically this dude, he's, like, obsessed with people liking him. He doesn't want anyone to hate him, he's just like, I gotta be popular, and no, I don't want anyone to say I'm a loser, like, I just want them to like me, and stuff. So, yeah, but he also is, like, lazy, like I've said it a bunch of times, he doesn't want to do shit, he's not really that great at anything. So he's just like, give all these people some entertainment, and then people are like, yay, but then apparently there's, like, a fucking plague, I remember, and then the plague goes away eventually, and then there's a fucking grain shortage, and this is the problem, okay? So basically, this one dude he appointed is, like, hungry for power and all this shit, and he fucking, like, he had some plan to, like, I guess kill Commodus, but it didn't work or something, I kind of forget, and it was, like, together with, Marsha, and, no, it wasn't Marsha, it was, like, him, and basically, whatever, he set up his friend, he made it seem like somebody tried to kill him and his friend, because basically they went to some whorehouse, and then he went into his friend's bed, the bed his friend was using, but the whore wasn't there, I guess. His friend was sleeping. Literally, this girl rode him, and it's funny, every single time in this show when they fuck, like, the girl's always riding the guy, and they're just like that. And, and anyways, whatever. So this dude, that happened to him, and then he just literally was like he's fucking passed out. And then, I know some people are like that in real life, not that I know from personal experience, but just through hearsay, I know some people do pass out right after sex, but whatever. Anyways, so, he's asleep, his friend goes in there and stabs him, and then he grabs the wine bottle, and he, like, sodomizes himself with it, makes it look like they're both attacked, even though it was really him doing it, And then he goes to Commodus, he has this little dinky, like, wrapping on his arm. He's like, look what they did to me. And then somehow there's a grain shortage, and then he's like, oh, if I make the grain shortage worse, and supply chain issues and shit. And then if I release it all, people will say like I'm a hero. But then like he let the famine go on too long, and then the fucking Senate was getting on to him. He fired a bunch of people from the Senate because he was like some position of power, and then he like brought all his friends in so nobody could say no to him. So he's like, I just replaced like half the Senate with people that are loyal to me, because I'm fucking more power hungry than the real emperor, apparently. And then I forgot this guy's name too. He had a cute sounding name, but I don't remember it. But anyways, so then he was like, he's trying to climb for more power, and then. But then he let the grain shortage go on too long. He's like, oh, I just gotta hold him out one more day, and then a fucking another plague came. And apparently because everybody was so starved, they couldn't fight off the disease, even though they probably couldn't do that in the first place. But it made it worse. Made it fucking worse, and then Commodus is like, just give them food, just order more food, it doesn't matter. Just feed them, because I can't be having this disease all over the place while I'm trying to fucking here, constantly. And I don't think he had any, I can't remember if he had any kids or not, I can't remember. But then, and then also his, like, wife had another husband from, like, they were already husband and wife, they were both slaves. So he's just, like, literally worked, like, cleaning the room up while they're fucking in front of him, and he's just like, yep, this is the life of a slave, or whatever. And then, he had a cute name, too, I can't remember. It was, like, Etruscus or something like that, I don't remember. It was a cute sounding name, though, I remember thinking his name sounded cute. And then, what else? Where am I going with this? Right, so anyways, then they found out about the guy was setting everything up. The fucking slave sold him out. And then he told him, oh yeah, he's guilty for everything. And he tried to murder you on top of it. I kind of forgot how that played out, but whatever. And then, so anyways, he got sold out. And then basically, Commodus was like, well, he stabbed him in front of everybody, threw his body in the trash, and then he's just like, let's move on. So then he's like, oh my god, everyone is so pissed about the grain shortage and the starvation and the plague and all this bad shit and all these dead bodies in the street. I gotta do something to make them happy so they don't hate me, and stuff. And so he's like, I'll put on more games so more people can fight to the death and be mauled by animals and kill animals and, have all this bloodshed for entertainment. Everybody needs this. So he decides, like, he's gonna put it on. And then also along the way, somebody told him that because the Senate did some bad shit to him, I can't remember. And then somebody told him, like, oh, if you want to get back in the Senate, like, you have to, like, spend all their money, because that's what they don't like. So he's like, I'm gonna spend all you guys. They're like, you can't put on more games. If you put on more games, you have to tax people. And he's like, I'm not gonna tax them. I'm gonna tax you. And then they're like, no. And then they're mad, and then they put on the games, and he's just like, this time I'm not gonna be in the stands. He's like, I'm gonna be a gladiator, and they're all just like, what? Like, don't you know gladiators fight to the death? Don't you know that they are basically like pawns for our entertainment? Don't you know that they're slaves? Don't you know this is not how it's supposed to be? Like, a fucking emperor doesn't go down there and play Russian roulette for fun. Like, you're out, you don't even know what you're talking about, and stuff. And he's just like, it'll be fine, I want to do it, and stuff. So he decides to train with this big jack dude named Narcissus, and who also goes around in a little pair of underpants. And then they start fighting, and Narcissus is training him, and he's just like, Commodus sucks ass. And they fight for like 5 minutes, and it's funny because the dude who plays Commodus, he's pretty jacked too. He's not as big and bulky as Narcissus, but I mean, both of them are pretty like ripped, because that's the type of shit this is. So he battles him for like 5 minutes, and he's just like, I'm so tired, I need water. I need to sit down, and stuff. And I'm just like, bitch, please. We know you work out like all day, every day. Don't even play with this fucking bullshit body that you're rocking right here. Anyways, so then, but then he's just like, oh, I really want to get good, so he, trains more. But then, in the end, he sucks ass. He goes into the ring, and he tries to be like, I'm Hercules, and then he gives all the other gladiators, like, fake swords. And then also, they're just like, are we really gonna try and kill our emperor? I mean, like, what would that look like? You know, as soon as you step in the ring, you're basically dead. Because it's like, okay, honestly, if, like, he's gonna kill you, and if you did kill him, I mean, first of all, if you just injure him, if you try to be smart and you injure him enough to where he doesn't fight anymore, he'll probably execute you anyway, but, like, that's not even how gladiators are supposed to work. It's supposed to go to the death. So you really can't do that. It would be, like, dishonorable or whatever. You know how these people are about their honor. So, essentially, they can't do shit. Because it's just like, are we really gonna fucking kill him? Like, no, we can't. And then on top of all that shit, all that social pressure, like, he gives them fake swords, or swords with no, like, sharp edge, or whatever. And then Narcissus found out about it. And at first it made it seem like he would only go in the ring once. He killed this one guy, this cholo-looking guy. This guy looked like he's from, like, a Mexican gang in an American prison. And he had tattoos and everything. And then Commodus killed him. And, like, some kind of lucky break type of shit. But, you know, they said it wasn't a lucky break. It was, like, set up that way. And then the dude was like, you know, he killed him. And it's like, okay, you did one match. But no, he kept going back and back and back and back over again, killing all these fucking people. And it was just, like, ridiculous. And then he stood in front of the Senate and he was, like, crying. And it was so embarrassing. Oh, my God, dude. Like, you don't understand how cringe this is. If you want to cringe hardcore, like, you gotta put on this one episode. This part where he's, like, standing in front of the Senate, and he starts off normal. He's, like, he's fine at first. He's, like, well, I knew you all thought I was gonna die, but as you can see, I'm standing right here, you know? And then he just gets, like, real crazy. He gets real manic and into it, and then he's just, like, holding up a sword or cup or something, and he's just like, he's just fucking crying, and his face is, like, totally red, and his eyes are just, like, all these tears are just, like, pouring down his face, and I'm just like, what is going on? What the fuck is going on here? This is, like, the epitome of unnecessariness. Unnecessary shit. Like, what the fuck is going on here? You know, like, how did we get here? And then, fucking Narcissus comes to him with a fake sword, and he, like, you know, runs it on his arm, didn't do anything to him. He's just like, did I teach you to do this? Did I teach you to fight with such dishonor and stuff? And this is right after fucking, Commodus gave him this, like, award, this, like, not magic, but this, like, special fake sword that's, like, you know, you are no longer a slave, you are the best gladiator, and you are amazing in the ring, you, like, blow all our minds, and you're, like, beyond, you know, and everything, and, you know, he's like, Narcissus, you are now a free man, so it's, like, right after that, Narcissus is like, okay, I know you just made me a free man, but, like, really? You just, like, killed all my, like, friends, like, with these fake swords, like, as if it wasn't stacked up enough against them, you know? And it's just, the whole thing is really cringe. And then there's one part, I think this is earlier, actually, I skipped over it, where, Commodus is like, there's some kind of, like, little mantra that Narcissus is saying with him, where it's like, I can be burned and beaten and chained up and, you know, raped and whipped and all this shit. And it's like this whole mantra, and it's just like, okay, they said it one time, okay, fine. Then they're at some banquet with all the, like, gladiators and shit, and then Commodus, he holds up this cup, and he's just like, I want to make a toast, and he says, like, all those lines, like, oh, burn me, beat me, you know, throw me to the ground, or whatever, and it's, like, this long thing. It's like, okay, and then everybody had to repeat it after him, and it's just like, okay, it's over now, right? Okay, great, now we can stop cringing, it's fine, and then he says it again, and everybody has to say it after him again. And then he says it again, and everybody has to say it after him again, and I think they might have even gone 4 times, and I was sitting there in front of the TV, my dad even said from the other room, he's like, what's going on? Because I was just like, don't say it again, and then the last time, I just turned the sound off, I muted it, because I couldn't take it anymore, it was just too cringe, and it was just going on, and I just couldn't take it, and then, fucking, like, then Commodus, he gets all mad because Narcissus called him out, and he's just like, I gave them eternity, and blah, 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 they had the honor to die at my hand, and Narcissus is like, how could you? You are a brat and la 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 and everything's bad. So then they're not friends anymore. And then some other shit, basically, then Marcia and her husband decided they gotta kill Commodus because I can't remember. Commodus was about to do something fucking stupid that everybody hated, and it was like a really bad idea, and it would be bad for all the people. And I can't remember what it was, but he's just basically losing his damn mind, and they're just like, we have to just end this. We have to stop all this. And so they're like, she puts like poison in his wine. She stays there for like a million years so he can catch her. I thought she didn't even do it. I kind of like couldn't see what was going on in the show, but I guess she did throw it in the wine, and then he. They said he was puking. They literally said that he was puking. She said he's throwing it up. But I'm just like, is he? It sounded like from the other room he was just going like, like, that's what it sounded like. It was like this really long, like, moaning sound. But I guess he was pretending to throw up. He was like, oh. That's his, like, I'm throwing up. It wasn't like normally when people pretend to throw up, they're like, oh. You know, something like that. I don't know. His was a little different. I don't know. And also, I feel like when you actually throw up for real, there's the kind of like this like gargling, like, I don't know. It's like hard to explain. It's like you can just hear like the tunneling of like your esophagus as like the stuff comes up. Like you can hear it like a tunnel, like coming closer to you. I don't. Is that just me? I don't know. And I've only heard like I think Rugrats actually did it like kind of accurately this one episode because it's like what like they kind. I don't know. It's hard to explain. You can't do it with your own voice. But I feel like if you're gonna throw up, kind of like what I said with the James Bond thing, if you're gonna throw up, you should have somebody actually put some liquid or soup or something in their mouth so that when they pretend to throw up, they can go like, "Ugh," and then they can like actually throw up. So you hear like some water or something splattering on the floor. So it's like it just seems more real. Am I obsessed with this? I don't know. Anyways, so he's like laying on the stairs. I thought he was dying, but no. Apparently, none of that shit was good enough. So then they're like, Narcissus, can you go in there? Narcissus goes in there, and he's just like, spoiled ass brat. Can't fucking stand you. I hated having to train you. You suck. You brought dishonor to everybody, and I can't wait to fucking stab you. And then he stabs him and he dies. End of story. Okay, next time I'm gonna talk about this ridiculous ass Julius Caesar shit. This ginger ass Julius Caesar, who they never ever even attempt to make him look like the real Caesar for a second. And then Caligula will be the last one. I wish they had more seasons of this show. This honestly like entertained me to no fucking end. Even though the Commodus one was the first one, so I can barely remember it. But okay, I'll talk about it next time.